Welcome to Fade 45. Today we have Keith Tucker, better known as Keith. Welcome to Fade 45.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
That's what's up. So we're going to get right to it. Where are you from?
I am from Wilmington, and I grew up in the projects of Wilmington called Eastlake, but then it changed the name to the Bucket.
Okay, the Bucket.
And I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with the Bucket.
Okay, I'm sure they are too, Wilmington, Delaware. So let's get right to the point. So how did you start your hair journey off, and what age were you, and who got you involved?
Well, I had no aspirations as a child at a young age. I got into the hair game, I think I was about around 20 or so, and a very well-known hairstylist at that time, someone who, I called her my aunt, named Savannah. Her name was Savannah.
Okay.
I went to visit her at her salon one day, and we were having a conversation, and she said to me, why don't you do hair? Oh, that's for women. She said, well, Keith, you like fashion, you like money, and you love women.
Right. So that was your hair journey.
That was the hook, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I thought about it and pondered on it, and at some point, I made a decision to go to school.
Okay.
And I went to Wilford Academy in Philadelphia.
Okay, for hair.
For hair.
Okay. Well, you know what year that was?
It's been so long ago. It was probably
80s.
It was in the 80s. Okay. Yeah, because I got out of school in 77. So it was probably like 80, 82, 83, somewhere around there.
Okay.
It was a lot going on in my life. I had another lifestyle at that particular time.
Right. So her name was Savannah. She influenced you to do hair. So when you went to school and you came work for her straight out of school?
No, I didn't. And that kind of bust her bubble, because she said something to me during the course of that conversation. She said, when you get out of school, try to go work for somebody that you don't know, somebody that don't know who you are. She said, it'd be easier for you to get a job with me. Right. And I think she forgot that she told me that, because when I went to work for somebody else, she was very offended.
Wow.
She got over it.
Right.
She got over it eventually. Right. So I made a decision, and I went to work for Sadie.
Okay.
That was my first salon that I worked in.
Right. So what was the salon name called again?
It was called Sadie's and Company. That's what it was, Sadie's and Company.
Right.
It was on Lee Boulevard.
Okay.
In Wilmington.
Right, Wilmington. So, now you went to school, you get out of school, Savannah put you on, and then you go work for Sadie's and Company. So what was it like, your first experience out of school, early 80s, now you in a beauty salon, and you're the only male?
I was the only male.
Okay.
The only male. I went in as an assistant, a shampooist, and I was good at what I did. Because I always took pride in being good at whatever I did. I didn't play no games with because I just believe it was a God-given talent. Because school really didn't teach me much. It taught me the basics.
Right.
Basic things that you need to know when you're starting out. But it just really came natural.
Okay. Right.
It really came natural.
Okay, so it's 80s, Sadie's Company. So the style of that time was the curl, correct? Jerry curl.
That is correct.
Okay, so we in the Jerry curl era, everybody. We in the Jerry curl era. So you out of school, you in Sadie's Company, Savannah, you're not working for her. So what was some struggles that you had in the shop being so young? Was you fooling around with more women then in the salon? Was they looking at you as, okay, you're not the man we thought you was because you're doing hair? What was the you feel as though the issue now you look back at it now?
It was different. It took me some time to get adjusted to that environment because it was a different environment. You know, I had never worked in an environment like that. Really, I was actually, it was different. You know,
Right.
but it didn't take long for me to make the adjustment to the environment. You know, because the stylist took to me. You know, I would, after a while, a lot of the women that came in, they requested me to shampoo their hair. You know, because I was the bomb at shampooing hair. I was the bomb. I took pride in it.
Right.
I took pride in it.
Right. So now you talking to your younger self right now. You know that, right? As an elder, you talking to your younger self, and I'm giving questions because you thinking. I see you thinking back at the time. So you in Sadie's company. How long was you with Sadie?
I was with Sadie for maybe about a year, and a couple of the other stylists, they were relocating, and they asked me to join them. And when I left Sadie's, I went to a brand new me, and the salon owner her name was Brandy. As a matter of fact, the salon was right up at the corner of here, over top of Blimpie's.
Right. Okay. So you was at, what was her shop called again?
A brand new me.
A brand new me, Sadie.
Yes.
Sadie's company. So now you enter to your next shop or next salon, and you maybe about say 3 years into doing hair. So you got some clientele now.
Well, no, because I really was working on trying to get comfortable with actually being in that kind of environment and doing, because I never thought about doing women's hair.
Right.
Matter of fact, I never even thought about being a barber.
Right.
The concept of a barber never entered my mind. You know, people ask me all the time, you cut your own hair? I said, no, I don't cut my own hair. I never thought of being a barber. You know, so the whole concept of doing women's hair, it was new to me. But I mastered being an assistant. I mastered it. I was a great assistant. Any stylist that I worked for will tell you I was a great assistant.
Wow.
Yes.
That's big. That's big.
I was a great assistant.
Okay, so I want to walk it back. I just want to make sure the people know what lane we in. Savannah told you to be a stylist. You went to school. You worked for Sadie. You left Sadie. Then now you at Brandy's shop. So you were shampooing at Sadie's shop. Did you have your own chair? This is the start of your own chair at Brandy's shop, or you were still an assistant?
No, I was still an assistant.
Okay.
I was still an assistant, and I really wasn't in a rush to become a stylist because I wanted to get the whole assistant part mastered. I wanted to be a great assistant because a great assistant makes a great stylist. And I think because I took so much pride in being a great assistant that once I decided to become a stylist, it was an easy transition.
Okay.
It was an easy transition.
Okay, so this is your second shop. How long did it take for you to get behind the chair, get out the assistant role?
Well, it took maybe 4, 5 years. I wasn't in no rush. I was on my time. I wasn't on nobody else's time.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be great at what I did. I wanted to, really have a good understanding of the business. You know what I mean? Understand the importance of hair care, which is so important.
Right.
And I think that is a lost art today.
Hair care.
Hair care.
Right.
Hair care is a lost art. So I really mastered hair care. And once I became a stylist, I mean, my clients raved about my hair care techniques.
Right.
Because I made sure that their hair was in great condition.
So now we in Sadie's shop. You're still an assistant. Is the hairstyle of that time now we're moving away from the curl, or the curl still the most popular? The S curl is still the most popular hairstyle. If you saying hair care, because hair care, the curl was damaging hair.
I did not have any enthusiasm for the curl. The curl was not my forte.
Okay.
I had no enthusiasm.
Right.
I knew the technique. I knew what to do. I knew how to take care of it. And I knew how damaging it was to hair.
Right.
All the chemical is a very strong chemical.
Right.
And I had no desire, for the drip.
Right. Okay.
That's just my thing,
Okay, yeah. So Keith, you're in Brandy's shop. You still an assistant. When did you get your own chair? At Brandy's shop, or you went to another shop?
No, it wasn't until I went to another shop.
Okay.
And that shop was called Magnifique on Tatnall Street.
Magnifique.
Yes, the owners were Sean and Mark. At that point, no, let me back up. Brandy relocated to another salon called Chosen Image on 8th Street. I went there with her, and I continued to assist there. But then I assisted a couple days, and then I had my own chair. I started developing my own clientele. You know, because women were so engrossed with my shampooing, because my shampoo was off the chart.
Right. Okay.
It was off the chart.
Right.
So eventually, you know, I became comfortable enough with, okay, it's time for me to develop my own clientele.
Right.
And so I started developing my own clientele. And once I started developing my own clientele, I went to another salon, which was Magnifique.
Okay.
And there, I pretty much was a full-time stylist. I mean, they would ask me periodically to assist them,
Right.
you know, because of my technique. The clients all, were very comfortable with me. They knew that I knew what I was doing, and I enjoyed being an assistant. You know, because I wasn't on this ego trip about, I got to be a stylist. If I can't be a stylist, I'm not doing that. I wasn't tripping because I know my time would come. I knew my moment in time would come.
Right.
Because I'm comfortable I know who I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know what's for me is going to happen at some point.
Right. That's good. So now you have Magnifique. You have your own chair. So it's like nearing the late 80s or early 90s?
It's nearing the 90s. I think it might have been close to, it might have been like 89. It might have been the 90s. Because it was so far back.
Right.
I can't pinpoint an exact date, but I know it was 80s, the end of the 80s, close to the 90s.
Right. Okay.
And from there it took off.
So you have Magnifique. You got your own chair. Clientele is booming.
Booming.
So you making money. How old were you then?
I think I was about 29, maybe 28, 29, somewhere around there. You know, and it just started happening. You know, I started getting phone call after phone call.
Right.
I want Keith, and the owners of the salon, they became so comfortable with me that they would push me clients.
Right.
You know?
Right. So now you're Keith the stylist or Keith the stylist?
Both.
Okay.
Depending on the moment.
Okay, put on the moment. Fill in the moment. Okay, so now my next question is: this is right, your 8th year or 10 years in the industry now, hair industry. Has been from assistant. Now you got your share. You say that was a 10-year span or 8-year span?
Between an 8 to
let's
say 10 years.
Right.
Let's say 10 years.
Right.
Because I think I had really come into my own. You know what I mean? And really was feeling the business. You know what I mean? Really feeling what I was doing. You know, because at first it was like a trial. I was like, because I didn't think it was for me at first. But then once I got into it and invested my time in it, it just started coming.
Right.
I started developing my technique. I started being able to, my cutting technique, my blow drying. You know what I mean? It started coming. I began to get comfortable with the curling irons. So it started happening.
Right. Started happening.
Yeah.
So now I want to get to we're in the gist of the game right now. So now this was your 4th shop you was at, Magnifique.
Yeah, Magnifique, fourth shop.
Okay, in the Wilmington Delaware. So now for Magnifique, this is a question that I think I know, but I don't know. Did you go to Lily of the Valley?
I went.
After that, for Magnifique, did you go to Lily of the Valley?
I went to Lily of the Valley briefly, and in that period of time, I think I had gotten hurt. I'd injured my back. and I was out of the business for a minute because I was dealing with some, the back issues and all that, and eventually, because I worked with one of the little sisters at Sadie's and at Chosen and at Brand New Me and at Chosen Image.
Okay.
Lois, as a matter of fact, we became very close. You know what I mean? And she taught me a lot. I learned a lot from Lois. Excellent stylist.
Right.
Excellent stylist.
Absolutely.
She imparted a lot into me, and
Wow.
that really helped me, with my technique and my skill.
Right. So now, before we move on, I wanted you to talk to the younger me. As you look back, who was most influential in your hair game to that point? Out of all the people, all the 4 shops you've been to, did each of them gave something in your hair game, or you glad you went through each shop like that?
I am glad I went through each individual, and I'm glad I had developed relationship with each and every one of them, because they all invested in me. They all imparted some technique in me. They all, were part of my development, my growth and development, and I am so grateful, for each salon that I, some people might call it shop hopping or whatever, but I call it learning. It was a learning experience.
Right.
I started to develop my technique, watching, because I wouldn't just shampoo there. I would stand and watch and observe, and they would give me different techniques and different tips on what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? Because I was very open to learn. Right. I wanted to learn.
Right.
Because whatever I do, I want to be the best at it.
Absolutely. Right. They have a term for that you did back in the day. It's called just go to YouTube and look at somebody's page and do hair. But standing next to somebody is not the same as you two. You really can see and get the real questions that you want to ask standing next to somebody. So now you 10 years in the game, 4 or 5 salons. So you got clientele. Now this is the question that I think now you're a Keith the stylist. You that guy now. You the stylist. You got clientele. When did you meet Mike Flagg?
I met Mike Flagg at Francois Michel on Delaware Avenue. I was there first, and the shop was in need of stylists. And I didn't know Mike. I didn't know Mike from a can of paint. And one day, matter of fact, he worked at Savannah's. It was very uncomfortable for me to go there, and talk with him, because she thought, but later on she realized that, I wasn't being disrespectful. I went there, I talked with him, about coming to Francois Michel, and he was open. And when he came, we became a dynamic duo.
Right. So basically, you had the reputation of, they thought you were stealing the stylist from the shop?
Pretty much.
Right.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. You can call it that. That's what they thought.
Right. You were stylist stealing, which still happens today.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It still happens today.
Oh,
it still happens today.
Oh yeah.
So you met Mike. Y'all became y'all probably liked each other's style and hairstyle swag, or y'all just was coming up at the same time. What you think it was that clicked y'all off together?
I think it was the whole piece of us as being men, being straight, you know what I mean, and developing the technique for styling women's hair. Mike was a great stylist. He was a great stylist, and we worked well together. I mean, we developed an excellent relationship.
That's good. That's good.
Excellent relationship.
That's good.
He pretty much became like a little brother to me.
Right.
We moved on from there.
Right. So now y'all in the shop together. Both of y'all booming. Y'all like each other's swag. Y'all making money, I'm sure.
Money.
Make money, I'm sure. Women's going crazy. So when did y'all decided to let's get a shop together, or did you want to shop by yourself and then have him come along, or did he want to shop by himself and have you come along, or y'all wanted to do it together?
Actually, we had talked about developing a salon, and I was interested in becoming a salon owner, but he had discussed it with his family, and I really didn't want to embark on that, on that journey, with other people.
Okay.
That's just my choice.
Right.
Not that I had anything against him, because people have a right to make choices, do whatever they want to do, and I have a right to make my choice. And my choice was, I don't want a partner, and I'll come, and be a valuable, asset. But as far as being a partner, I don't want no partnership in it.
All right. So when did that shop come? What's the name of that shop? Your first shop y'all was in together?
Oh, that was Synergy.
Synergy.
That was
okay.
Synergy.
Okay.
That was Synergy.
Okay.
On 40. Synergy was popping.
It was popping. So
Synergy was popping.
Right.
I mean, me and Mike we both had, big books. We both had, and we both, did what we did.
Right. So now y'all both together in the shop that he owned, Synergy, a family-owned shop. When y'all first opened up the shop, was it just y'all two or more stylists?
You know what? It was just me and Mike.
Okay.
And then we started. Then I helped him to train other stylists, and other assistants that eventually became stylists.
Okay.
So from the beginning, it was just me and Mike, and then eventually, I think his brother came on, Courtney and Eric, and Mike's wife, she became a stylist. So we had it going on, and then Shamika. I don't know. I can't recall Shamika's last name, but she was a stylist. So it was at one time. I think it was about 6 stylists in Synergy.
Okay, so you at Synergy. Your book is heavy. You and Mike doing good. More stylists came. You're training people. What was a turning point in your life that didn't go right for you? That might have just at that time. You was up the height of your life. Your hair game was real. What happened?
I could not. I think earlier I alluded to my earlier lifestyle. I made some choices early in my life to be a part of, the drug game. And this is not comfortable for me, so I'm gonna get through this though. Because I gotta tell my truth, because I understand my truth. Because people try to tell your story
and they don't know.
They
well,
mess
tell,
up, totally
tell whatever
mess
you
it
want to
up.
say. Yeah.
So, I allowed that to creep back up into my life. You know what I mean? And it totally dismantled my desire. You know what I mean? My energy, my focus. Because at one point in that lifestyle, I had it going on.
Right.
I had it going on.
Right.
I was doing my thing. So I thought.
Right.
But I always knew something down inside that there was something else that I was supposed to be doing. That there was something else in me that I should be putting my energy into. But sometimes when you lack discipline, you allow things to creep back up and interrupt the path the journey that you're on.
Right.
And that's what I did. I allowed that thing to interrupt my journey.
Okay.
And it was devastating.
Right.
It was devastating.
So being as though you and Mike had the first relationship back in the day, y'all came up, did he see it early or he just didn't say anything? Did y'all have a good relationship that he could pull you to the side, like, yo, pull up, or it was just let him be?
I think it was more just let him be. You know what I mean? I don't think he took and I don't knock him for that. You know what I mean? Because people have a right to make choices and decisions. You know what I mean? And everybody's heart's not the same.
Right.
He really didn't have much to say about it. Until the behavior, became real relevant, real obvious. And then everybody, people always have something to say about something that they really don't have an understanding of.
Okay.
So you hear the chatter.
Right.
And it started affecting my work.
Okay.
Because I was one thing about me in this business, my clients knew that I didn't hold my clients hostage. I got my clients in, I got them out.
Right,
you
right,
understand
right.
what I'm saying? I was very professional. I was very timely.
Right.
You know, and when I lost that discipline and that focus, it started affecting my work.
Right. Did she get in the car? Where's she?
Yeah.
Where's she at? What car?
Right here.
That was dumb parking game. Now you doing good, Keith. We gonna okay. Okay, so you said everything was affecting your work. Was it? Did you in the time of you was going through your personal issues and you was doing hair? Was it ever a moment in the shop where you messed somebody's hair up and somebody had to fix it, or they just seen you doing in and out, and people in the salon could tell something was not as normal as it used to be with you?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like destroy anybody's hair.
Right.
It was, they knew that I wasn't my normal self.
Okay.
And my work ethic was not its norm.
Okay.
And that was enough for me.
Right.
But me being the determined person I thought I could handle it.
Right.
And everybody that comes to you and has something to say don't really have a heart for you. So it's hard for me to take advice or hear from somebody that doesn't really have a heart for me.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Even though I know, I was getting out of pocket. My attitude was, you can't tell me what to do. I'm my own man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Check yourself.
Right.
Because it's easy for us to check somebody else as opposed to checking ourselves first.
Right.
Take a look at yourself.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at in my life right now. I take a look at me first. Because
Okay.
I'm not no choir boy, but I know I have a heart for people. And I think that's what made me so successful in the hair industry, because of my heart for people. I wouldn't just give people anything. And I wouldn't just put anything out.
Right.
And when it started getting bad,
Right.
that's when I realized that, you know what? It's time for me to exit. It's time for me to exit. Because I don't want that attached to me. That label, that bad label.
Right.
Even though people gonna talk, they gonna say what they gotta say. You know what I mean? And a lot of times they don't have no real passion for you. They don't have no real heart for you, concern for you. They just want something to talk about. So it got to a point where I knew when it was time to make an exodus. And eventually that's what I did.
Okay, so you left the shop. Did they fire you, or you just said,
No.
I'm done, I left the shop?
They didn't fire me. I made a decision to go with another style. Matter of fact, I went back to work with Sadie.
Okay. You went back to work.
She was opening another salon, and me and her had developed a relationship, like a mother-son relationship, and I went to help her out.
So you went to Sadie's shop, and how did that work out for you? You still
They weren't happy, and they weren't happy about the move, even though I was, they said, I don't think they still wanted me to leave.
Right.
I don't think. I don't know. It really don't even matter at this point.
Right.
So,
Right. So you went to Sadie's shop, and Sadie got a new shop. Y'all older now. So did your clientele move with you, being as though you were still battling your inner
Yeah,
demons?
Most of them did.
Okay.
Most of them did.
Okay.
A lot of my clients followed me.
Okay.
Because even though I was battling my demon, I still, my skill set was still what it was. I made sure, because I wasn't going to be just, just messy, put anything out guy.
Right.
I took pride in my work.
Right. That's good.
I take pride in anything that I do.
That's good. So now looking back at that, when did Sadie close the shop? When did your career end in hair? After Sadie was the last shop?
Sadie was the last hurrah.
Right. So what made you stop?
I just knew it was time for me to stop. You know what I mean? When at some point, and this is just me, you got to know when to surrender. When it's not what it was, and you find yourself, spiraling out of control, and you're not getting the results that you're used to getting. You know what I mean? You got to make a decision. You know, and I had to make that decision for me.
Right.
You know?
Was it, you think your decision was based on the trends of the hair change and you didn't keep up, or just at the time all your demons you was going through, you just said it's done, it's time for you?
It wasn't the trends of the hair change. It wasn't the trend change, because I could keep up with the trends. I just needed to be invested in me more. I needed to focus on me. You understand what I'm saying? So that if I decided to get back in, I could. You know, so I made a decision to say, look, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm done. And so I stepped off.
Okay. So when you stepped off the game,
That's how they got it, 'cause this week.
oh, my fault. Yeah, my fault. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
go
own me. So when you stepped off from the hair industry, did you find yourself in a loss, or you went straight all the way 100% in with the demons, or you just found yourself, what am I going to do now?
No, I made a decision to get myself together. You know, I said I got to work on Keith. I gotta, you know, make some changes in my life. You know, and that's what I did. I stepped off, you know, and I made some changes, and I found myself doing what I needed to do for me. And to the day, I think I'm where I'm supposed to be, because even though, let me digress for a minute. Before I went to school, before I went to hair school, I went to Del Tech, because I always had an interest in the mind, and I wanted to be a psychiatrist.
And that's you want to try to get your degree in psychiatry, right?
So I went to school for psychiatry. Mind you, I told you that I had this double life going, because I was, you know, I would go to school, go to Del Tech with my briefcase, you know, and I have a gun in my briefcase. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, my focus wasn't there. Now I was 19 years old, and I wanted to be a psychiatrist. And now that I found myself full circle, I work at a psych facility. I'm a activity therapist at a psych facility. Today. So I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. Today.
So now when you was fighting your demons and you left the salon, who in that world kept you on that path to get yourself together? Was anybody specific that helped you more, that you look back?
Well, I really started developing my relationship with God, because I know that, you know, God has a purpose for my life. I know my life has a purpose. You know, I haven't always walked in it, and I haven't fully embraced it now, because I don't have time to play games. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that I'm where I'm supposed to be before I try to get somebody else to be where they're supposed to be. You know, so I daily work on Keith. You know, every day that I wake up, you know what I mean, I check in with me to find out where I am. Because I know that people watch my life. Some people watch it for the right reasons, some watch it for the wrong reasons. You know, so I know I'm under the spotlight. I know I'm under the microscope. You know, people, you know, you have your people that you know, do this, you know, that chatter, you know, but to whom much is given, much is required. You know, and a lot of people that run their mouth couldn't walk a half a mile in my shoes.
Okay.
You know, but I keep getting up.
Right. That's a good thing.
Keep getting up.
That's a good thing.
That's why I'm still here.
Right.
You know, people tell me I'll be 65 in January, and people say, "You be 65?" Yes. Yes.
Getting up. So now you get yourself together, and you made it to a point. You got a job now. What made you want to write a book, and what's the book called?
I was inspired. It was God inspired. And the name of the book, I'm actually a two-time author, published author. The first book is called From a Wannabe to Who I'm Supposed to Be. And the second book is entitled What's in My Big Mouth. But from a positive, because life and death, because that's what I say, we're not disciplined in what we speak out of our mouths. So a lot of times we put words in the atmosphere, and we don't realize that we're either causing life or we're causing death. And I don't want to be the cause of anybody's death by what comes out of my mouth. You know, so I felt inspired to write those books. You know, because I really have a genuine heart for people's lives. I know that God has a purpose for my life, because all that I've been through, all that I've experienced, all that I've been exposed to, I either should have been in jail, I should have been dead, I should have been strung out, way strung out on drugs. You know what I mean? But God has a purpose for my life, and it's His grace. It's nothing but His grace that allows me to sit here today. You know, as a matter of fact, let me digress for a minute here too. Before COVID hit, right before COVID hit, a young lady kept badgering me about coming to work in her salon. And I had made a decision that I would, but COVID hit. And maybe that was God.
right.
Maybe that was God saying,
knock it out the way, yeah.
Yeah, that don't, because I know I still have skills. I still have skills. I know my technique is still good.
Right.
Even though I haven't done hair in a while, I know I still can get down with the best of them.
Okay.
Because I developed the technique.
So that leads me to the next question. As you look back at your hair life, what advice do you have for up and coming male stylists, or any stylist? Now, I just want to say male because you're a male and you've been through a lot. Some males don't get the chance. Some elder males hairstylists don't get the chance to tell younger male stylists, like, I know what you're going through. So what advice do you have to a younger male stylist?
My advice to a younger stylist coming along, if you find this is something that you really want to do, invest yourself totally in it and be the best that you can possibly be. Don't let nobody discourage you. Don't let nobody belittle you. Don't be intimidated by nobody else. Do you. I mean, develop your skill, develop your technique, learn all that you can learn. You know, and my thing was, I like hair that flows. I can blow it and it's gonna move. I like hair that moves. You know, my clients, they keep your clients gonna break their neck. So my thing is, develop your technique.
Right.
Develop your technique, and when you do that, nobody can take it away from you. Because it's yours.
That's good.
People can only take from you what you allow them to take from you. People can only do to you what you allow them to do. Right. So you do you.
Right.
And don't let other people do you.
Right. So do you miss the hair industry sometimes?
Sometimes. Sometimes. I don't, but it's so much foolishness and so much, it's the word that I want to use, but it can't come. But I don't know. It would have to be the right setting for me to go into a salon because of who I am. Because I just can't work anywhere and around anybody.
Right.
You know, because I don't, you have to allow people to be who they are and do what they do, and then I have a choice whether I want to be a part of that.
Okay.
You know, so from time to time, I consider it.
Okay.
I have clients that see me periodically now and say, Keith, are you back doing hair yet? When you gonna do I need you to do my hair. I say, I got rid of all my equipment.
Okay, so
I had the best equipment.
Right.
Just like I invested in me,
Right.
that's how I invested in my equipment.
Right. So
blow dryers, all that stuff.
We have I have two lasting questions that I want to have Fade 45. We always want to ask this question to barber or stylist. If you had a choice, would you want to work for a company in all the hair industry? What company would have been, or you wanted to just stay independent?
I probably would, at this point, I might give a company a shot. You know what I mean? At one point, I went to Dudley's University, and they were really trying to pull me in that direction. You know, but I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it, so I didn't make that move. I did a few shows for them, and you know, I didn't feel compelled to transition to North Carolina because they wanted me to relocate.
That's big.
They wanted me to relocate.
That's big.
But I wasn't feeling that.
So where can we find the book at?
The book can be found at Amazon. And the title of the first book is What's in My Big Mouth. And the other book is From a Wannabe to Who I'm Supposed to Be.
Or wannabe to who I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, because some of us are fakes, phonies, and frauds. We want to be somebody other than who God created us to be.
I hear that. So we
need to go back to it. We need to return to our authentic self.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? And I think that was my issue. I didn't embrace me. I wanted to be other than who God created me to be. But today, I'm comfortable in my skin.
I hear
And
that.
I'm okay with Keith. You know, Craig,
That's all right. Go ahead.
for so many years, for a long time, people thought my name was Keith. But my name is Keith.
Keith Tucker.
Keith Tucker.
I'm so glad to have you today, Keith, man. This is a great interview. And like I said, you're a legend in the game in the state of Delaware, Wilmington, as one of the male stylists that's still around and people can still see and ask questions and can talk to. So I just like to, I'm glad you came to bless the mic at Fade 45. And congrats on the book and more future endeavors that you ever have.
Thanks for having me.